everybody. My little sign. Official show starting. This is Tanya Hoffman, and this is the Tanya Hoffman's Fabulous TV Show. And I'm here with my incredible guest star, who I love having on this show, Miss Marian LaSalle.
Hey, Tanya.
So Marian is amazing, and she runs a whole group of tech geeks. Do we call them tech geeks still?
They don't like to be called geeks, but yeah, that's what they are.
Oh, they have to get over it, you know. I call myself a nerd because I totally own it. So what we're going to talk today about is really helping you decide how to make life easier, your business easier. You know, a lot of times I think, and Marian, you can tell me if you think it's right or not, is people complicate things that don't need to be complicated. And then they don't try to figure out systems to simplify things that are complicated, right?
Yes, and you know, my quote that I say at least twice a day now, do what you do best and farm out the rest. If tech is bothering you or it gets on your nerves, you know what? There's somebody else that absolutely loves to do it, and they'd be more than willing to take it off your plate.
Right, exactly. You know, we had a great conversation yesterday with Sheba Vargas. She's amazing. And we were just laughing our heads off about the whole idea that, you know, people really struggle with wanting to do everything themselves. And I totally get it. You know, when we first get started in business, our dollars are this much, our time is this much. And as we get more and more busy, the time shrinks, and hopefully the dollars are increasing. So you can fill in those other things with people that could do it for you. But it's also about learning when to say, this is something I do not need to do myself. Or how can I ask somebody, especially for women, I think we have a hard time, is asking for help. And I think guys do too a lot of times. Don't you think so?
I do, and you know, this has been such an ongoing problem for so many people, including me, including you. Okay, I mean, we all struggle with this. When do we ask for help? How much is it going to cost? You know, it's going to take me longer to explain it than it is for them to do it. There's a lot of different things that go into asking for help, right? And first of all, we do have a lot of people that, like, they just don't want to ask for help. It's kind of like driving down the road, you know, you're going around the block 20 times and you're not going to stop and ask somebody for help, really? I mean, there's just some people like that out there. Right?
Exactly. You know, and it's imperative, I think. I was just on the phone with, she's incredible, Miss Jane Duber. And people know her all over the place. And she has created some incredible tech companies. And she's this beautiful personality. And she said to me, can you believe this? Tanya, you need to have people help you more. I was like,
that too.
Me? What? We all don't take our own advice, right?
Exactly.
But when we listen, it's amazing how we can flourish and we can move forward. So I just started asking her, I said, okay, what do you see that I'm not doing well? You know, what do I need to be adjusting? How can I improve the things that I need to improve? But a lot of it is because I can't see it. I'm just so close. I'm just like, I made this puppy. I made this little baby. I'm too close to it. It looks so beautiful in my eyes, right? But other people are like, oh, really?
Watch Shark Tank for a few episodes and see how most people that have made it in this world have separated themselves from their baby, right? Seriously. If you think of your business as your baby, then you are not going to make the right decisions. You're going to need somebody else looking in from another perspective to show you what it is that you can't see because it's your baby. I mean, that's just a mother's way of saying, you know, my baby's the most beautiful thing in the world, right? We all have it.
I know. I used to own retail stores. There were science and nature retail stores. And oh my gosh, everybody thought their grandchild was the next Einstein. next beauty queen or the next, football superstar or whatever. And I see that with, businesses. Either people are like, ooh, this is a stinky diaper and I don't want to really be connected to my own business, or I'm so in love with my business, I can't imagine no one else would like it.
What do you mean there's something wrong with my baby? You can't tell me there's something wrong with my baby.
Right, exactly. And especially when you're a speaker, right? And people are telling you that they didn't like what you say, then you're like, well, what's wrong with what I'm saying? I like what I'm saying. There's always these disconnects, and you got to kind of filter out those that are coming from a place of service and a place of they really want to help versus those with ego, right? Because egos are not allowed. Elitism, you got to watch those kind of people.
Yes.
Do you find, I know especially I'm sure in the tech industry, you probably get it all the time where people are like, well, yeah, you could do it that way, but I like doing it this way. It's kind of the Mac versus PC, and, you get all of these people on, one camp or another, right?
I do. I see it. I hear it. I say it. Yeah. Now, one of my business partners is all about Mac. He loves Mac. And every time there's a problem or an issue, I say, those Macs, I tell you. And every time there's a PC issue, he's like, those PCs, I mean, it's a joke with us, but it's true. Most people really have an affinity for one or the other, and it's almost like a sports team. Don't say anything about my team.
Exactly. And it's so funny because you start getting into these, kind of realms of, well, yeah, you could do it that way. And a lot of times it's, the new and fresh and shiny versus something that's, been around for a while, that's basic, that's, got the systems in place. Sometimes it's hard to make those different transitions. Or where someone started out, my husband started out doing Joomla websites and he loves Joomla. And for me to switch to WordPress was like breaking his heart, but I couldn't handle it anymore. I was like, honey, you just have to deal with it.
I remember being the one to tell you need to move to WordPress, and you went, oh, no. I can't do that. And next thing I know, guess who was on WordPress?
Well, because a lot of it is because everybody is in a timeline. And depending on where you are in that timeline and who you're listening to in that timeline and what your experiences are, gives you the reality of your moment, right? And it's just like for people starting out, oh, we lost you, Marion. People starting out in business, they all want to start, especially for speakers, they want to start at the top. They want to be Tony Robbins tomorrow instead of being who they are today and working themselves and adjusting themselves. So hopefully Marion will be back with us. Can you still hear us, Marion? Not yet. Oh, so we'll see her hopefully in just a second. And she'll be back. But if y'all have any questions, oh, you can't hear us. I don't know where you went, so come back in. Oh, I locked it. Hold on, let me unlock. All right, come back in. Yay. It's one thing about Blab we all have to get used to. Yay, there you are. Oh, I can't hear you.
Can't hear me?
There you can.
Oh, okay. So I figured out what happened. That was so interesting. So talk about business development and modern technology and all the things that can go wrong. And when I logged on, when I put in blab.im/Tanya Hoffman, it came up with this very small little screen. And I kept seeing this little arrow with a square around it, meaning like there's something here. So I thought, well, I'll just click on that. Don't do that.
Bye.
Don't do that.
Don't push on the little red button that says push here. Things we learn on Blab every day. And so it just took you out then. That was hilarious.
It was. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. You know, it's still in beta. Isn't that the way it goes?
Yeah, people are like, well, why is it all working now? And one time there was no recording button, and everyone on the little chat was like, it's right over there, it's right underneath, tell a little birdie, tell a little friend. And I'm like, it's not there. So sometimes you just have to reboot and start over again, and what it is. And that's what right. Business development is all about. It's right. When something doesn't work, try again.
Try it. Fail fast, try it again. Fail fast, try it again. Yeah.
Tweak. And that's one of the things that drives me crazy is when I meet someone who wants to be a fabulous speaker. And by the way, everyone, I'm Tanya Hoffman, and this is Fabulous Miss Marian LaSalle. And Marian is an incredible tech genius, and I own the Public Speakers Association. So one of the things that I started seeing for speakers is they're like, Tanya, I want to be a speaker. I want to be just like Tony Robbins. And they expect to be Tony Robbins tomorrow. Now, Tony Robbins didn't start out at Tony Robbins, okay? I did not start out as Tanya Hoffman. We all start and we grow and we grow and we move and we adjust and we tweak and we try and we do something different, right?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm really grateful that you're basically the person who taught me to be a speaker, because I showed up to your event and you invited me to come and I flopped. And you were able to say, now dust yourself off, Marian, and go do it again. And did I? I didn't stop. I didn't let it freak me out for the rest of my life, right? I dusted myself off and went right back out there. Well,
and really, too, when you start looking at, I went to one of your events, and you were standing there, and you were doing your networking group. And everyone's looking at you, and they've got this, I love Marian look. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm not a speaker. I'm like, what is this disconnect? Because you're standing in front of the group, and you're talking, and they love you. So, and you're like, nope. Total denial.
That's right. That's right, yeah.
But we all move.
Test it, try it. If it doesn't work, dust yourself off or tweak it a little bit and just get back out there and do it again.
Exactly. When I always show people that picture of me, right? Because nobody believes that I used to be an introvert. So here's the picture of me, everybody. So this was Tanya in 2005. So 10 years ago, I was an complete introvert, and I would be like shaking, going to a networking group. The first time, you'll appreciate this, Marian, because you've done so many networking things. The first networking group, I did not know what an elevator pitch was. And when they were like, okay, everyone's going to stand up and give a 30-second elevator pitch, I'm like, I have to stand up and talk in front of 20 people. I was floored. And when it was my turn, I couldn't hear because you're so flustered, and my heart was like boom, 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 boom. And I stood up, and everyone's looking at you, right? Because I was a newbie. They're like, "Ooh, I wonder who she is." And I was like, "I don't remember who I am right now, but." And I sat back down. I couldn't remember my name. I couldn't remember anything. Yes, this is the international speaker. This is where I started. I'm so sorry, y'all. If I can get over all that, you can too.
Oh, I've got an even better story. You ready for this?
Oh, yay.
So Pam Terry.
Yes.
So Pam teaches people how not to be nervous, and she probably did it. She probably started that whole program because of me. So she's in charge of the what's the name of that group, that international group she leads here in Houston? Oh, can't think of the name of it. I'll come up with it. So anyway, she goes, Marian, would you please be on the radio show? Now, radio, there's no video, right? It's just a microphone, or she had me actually on the telephone. And I remember her saying, okay, are you ready? And I was like, okay. And all of a sudden, I had the same reaction you did. All the blood kind of dripped out of my face, and I could feel my heart starting to pound. And the next thing you know, I'm like going, I lost my breath and everything. When the show was over, she said, Marion, I thought you were having sex. Really?
Oh my gosh.
I was breathing like I was having sex, okay? I was choppy and trying to catch my breath. That's how bad it was. And that was just on phone.
That's hilarious.
Isn't it?
Well, you know, we all start and we all struggle, and even those that are extroverted and they just naturally get up and speak or naturally market themselves. You know, there's people, I was just talking, like I said, to Jane Duber. This woman is amazing. Her business processes are incredible. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have her help me with my business systems, right? Because that's what she's really good at. But guess what? She's not good at marketing. People don't know her. People don't know what she has to offer. So I'm like, hey, I can help you with marketing, right? You've got to find someone who fills the shoes that you can't fill, that just don't fit.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the interesting things, too, there's Barney. All right, Barney, come on in. Click on the seat. Is that when you start looking at this kind of excitement and joy that you could bring to people by helping them. I mean, that's my favorite part of owning my own business. It is since I was 25, is finding something that you could really expand on for that person, that person could have joy and have something. And I'm sure in the tech world, oh my gosh, I'm sure you could really make that powerful. There's Mr. Barney.
Can you see me? Sorry.
We can see the side of your face, and we can hear you.
Okay. I have no idea what. Oh, there's part of it. Yeah.
So, you know, what we didn't do at starting off the show is kind of do a little elevator pitch, right? Since we're talking about elevator pitches. So, Marion, why don't you tell people about who you are?
Okay, sure. I'm Marion LaSalle. And I live in Houston, Texas. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and my daughter lives in Michigan and makes me come there for Christmas. So don't everybody feel sorry for me.
Aww.
I'm come to Houston. Okay. So besides all that wonderful, great stuff, I am into the tech industry. And I don't like to say I'm in the IT industry because most people think, oh, I work on hardware or I work with, networking and computer service. I don't do that portion anymore. I love software. I love training. I love to help people.
Oh, we lost your voice. We can't hear you now.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, now we can. I don't know. We lost you for a second.
Okay. So I love helping people get past the technology problems that they're having. And another thing I love to do is when they tell me, oh, I don't have enough money for that. I like to help them go around that and get crowdfunding or get sponsors or go around that I don't have money or it's too hard or all the things that I hear people say that refuse to let them move forward. I like to break through those barriers and get them doing what they do best, which is running their business.
Right.
So that's me.
Love that. And everyone, I mean, you really do need to know Miss Marion. So Barney, why don't you tell everybody about who you are?
I'm not sure at this point in time. I know one thing. I need to know Marianne.
Yes, those need to be connected. Yes.
My least favorite topic is the technology challenges, and I heard you talking a little bit about it. Well, I'm Barney Kramer, and I'm president of Strategic Management Resource Associates, and I'm a business consultant, a leadership development trainer, coach, executive coach, and I bring a lifetime experience to the clients that I work with. And I'm delighted to be on this show. Thank goodness some of this technical problem apparently was blabs. I got an apology because it wasn't working. So anyway,
it does have issues.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
when you're somebody that's a bit I call myself technology challenged. That's really, really frustrating. But that's part of what we have to learn to do is to keep our frustrations in check and not just go off the deep ends.
And I'm so proud of you for doing it and being here, and you pushed through that frustration. So yippee.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
And make sure there's a little send a message area. Put in your website so that people have that link too.
Cool. All right.
And everybody, I am Tanya Hoffman. I'm the CEO and founder of the Public Speakers Association. I'm a globally sought after speaker. I love talking and teaching people sales, the business of speaking, leadership skills, diversity, all of those kind of fun things. Plus, I've got 6 books that you could buy and enjoy. And I just got an incredible text from a lady who bought my book on the website, and she sent me this incredible, oh my gosh, your book changed my life. I'm like, oh great. I completely forget sometimes that I even have books for people to read. But yeah, it's fun. But yeah, go and check out publicspeakersassociation.com. And then we just launched Career Speaker Academy to certify people as career speakers. So that's always fun.
Great.
Perfect. So what I thought we'd talk a little bit today is a little bit about really the development of business, because I think that is a challenge for people, because when they launch their business, they're like, well, my website's up, and then they're like, okay. So it's hard to see what the transition needs to be. And I thought maybe the two of you and obviously myself could give people some tips on kind of that transition. How can we help them develop into a big development issue? Yeah, go ahead, Miss Marian.
Okay, so this is one of those lessons that I learned that I wish I could go back and tell myself, and that is partnering. So that makes so much sense when it comes to moving your company forward fast. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or an actual partner that you're working with, it doesn't matter. But if you have some help, if you have other people either looking at your company so that they can see it from a different perspective, or like a mastermind group, it really doesn't matter what you choose, whatever you feel comfortable with, but reaching out and getting people to help you, no matter what that is, will help you move much faster than you would by yourself.
I love that. And it comes very poignant to me, because we were just talking to Jane just a minute ago, and she's like, Tanya, you need an advisory board. And I'm like, but that's just so about me, and what can we do something that's about everybody? She's like, no, you have to have it about yourself. And it's that, does it always have to, it's so hard. Don't you think it's hard, Marian, is to find that partner to learn to help others, but not, because I'm really good at helping others, but it's the receiving part that is kind of hard for me.
I know that about you, because I have offered many, many, many times to not just coach you, but to help you with, things that you needed with Public Speakers Association. And never once did I get a call and say, Marian, I want to take you up on that. I'd really like for you to help me. Now I'm stuck here, or can you just let me bounce some ideas? You really need to think about doing that with people that you trust.
Yes.
And that people that you respect or who have been there before. Even if they're not a good friend of yours, if they've been there before, maybe they could help you.
Well, I think that's what I told Jane. I said, it's so hard because you don't know what to ask when you don't know what to ask. And you don't know what to ask to help if you don't know what it is that you need really help with, right? And sometimes it takes someone slapping you with a mirror and say, look, Tanya, what are you doing? And you're like, okay, I got the mirror. All right, peel it off the face. How about you, Mr. Barney? Do you find that in your clients and all, it's hard to look at yourself and ask for help? And
Absolutely, and I'm so old school that was one of the things that was probably the biggest impediment to my business career early on, is because I didn't know who to ask for help. And frankly, a lot of that had to do with some trust issues that I had personally. The little help I got early on in life wasn't particularly good help, so it got to the point where I wasn't willing to ask much of anybody, and it was a tremendous amount of work to figure out the roadmap to my success. And as times have gone, when you look at today's world, it is so complex and so challenging. Something as simple as what I've done, part of what I've done all my life is just business marketing and sales development for whatever organization I've had, and that is completely upside down at this point in time, where we start looking at creating a relationship with a buyer before we ever get to some kind of a discussion about what we do. And you sort of have to prove yourself before you can even tell them, well, maybe I can help you with this, and have that dialogue. But that's just a good example. I've got a very good friend of mine that's had a ton of success in his lifetime, and partly by being an inventor, and is about to engage, well, he's engaged in it already, and he's got a project that could be just huge. I mean, well over $1 billion before he gets through with it. And one day we were having a conversation, and I said, I really like the way you approach what you're doing, because he seeks counsel of others. And I said, you're seeking counsel, and he corrected me. He says, I believe in seeking the counsel of many. And he really has. And he gets a phenomenal amount of help, not only because of who he is and the sincerity and the genuineness of his nature, but because that's what he truly believes on it. And I think I have no doubt that a lot of the reason he has been as successful in his career as he has is because of that very thing, that he's not afraid to ask for help on it. And he's done it enough in his lifetime. I think you sort of have to do that enough to begin to understand who you can trust and who you can't trust, because it is a big issue today. So that's what I
see that. And and I think it's different in depending on where you are in your business. It's about putting yourself into uncomfortable positions where you're surrounding yourself with people who all know more than you do. And that is such a weird space, but I found that was, if I could give anybody a tip, that was the pivotal point for me, is to start putting myself around people that were so much smarter.
I have to tell you, I've got he's passed away, but I have one of the sharpest men I think I've ever known. It was integral in helping a couple of companies that in our general area be really, really successful. And he also taught economics at the University of Pacific here locally. And he said to me one day, and he said, when my students come in to that first class, and we do that initial class that we have with them, and he said, I tell them at the end of the class that there's 3 words that I want you to learn, and I want you to use them again and again and again throughout your career. And I'm sure you can guess what those 3 words are. When someone asks you a question, and he said, I don't know. And of course, the rest of it is about finding out, but it's also about understanding I need help. We all those of us in the businesses that we're in, we do what we do for lots of reasons. Certainly the driving motivation and the driving reason for me is because I love what I'm doing. I love helping somebody.
And I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of people to do, is to close their mouths. And listen, oh my gosh, you get into some arenas, and because I go to obviously a lot of conferences where I'm speaking, and there's always that person I'm like, I can't believe they're still talking, and they haven't asked one thing about, because usually like you stand in a little group, right? And there's like 3-4 people all standing around, and there's just one person that just, and you're like, oh my gosh, are they going to say anything to anybody? Because they're just, but it just shows that insecurity. And I see that happen with a lot of people who have kind of that elitist attitude. Is it's really about their owning how fabulous everyone else is and letting them be fabulous. It's something that they're missing inside. I could always tell when their self-esteem is so low that they have to push everyone else down and stand on top of them. I try to avoid people like that.
I don't have them around for very long, I can tell you that. I love too our mutual friend Tony Wilkins, when Tony said, and he's a new friend to me over the last 8 or 10 months, but I absolutely love what he said. He said, "What do you need and how can I help you?" And he asked me those 2 questions. It took me about 3 weeks to really answer, because I wanted to give him a good answer to it. But I learned something. It's something we forget. It's not all about us. It's about it really is about helping other people, and it's amazing what that does when you open yourselves up to them and they begin to understand that it's okay to not know everything. And to me, in my youth, one of my issues was about exactly that. I was so insecure in my own ways that I just knew if I said, "I don't know," or "Can you help me," that I was going to be perceived as being a dummy. And, some reasons for why I had that particular mindset as a young man. But it's something.
And for me, a lot of it for me was the fear factor of people hurting me, because I had grew up with people hurting me and people being so negative. And so I totally get why I was such an introvert, and closed myself in, because it was safer that way. But I could tell everyone out there, there's nothing more exciting than connect with fabulous people. And there's going to be some really crappy people out there. And there's going to be some people that you're like, poor things, y'all are really, I'm so sad for you.
Sounds like you've conquered that demon at this point in your life, Tanya. You were so calm when this didn't work, and I'm just dying inside and coming to be. I hate things that don't work, and you're just walking right through this thing.
It either work, for me, and maybe Marion may be this way or not, but I'm like, when something doesn't work, it just doesn't work. What are you going to do? I mean, there's been times that I've been on a huge FM radio station, and I call in and they're going to ask me, I get like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh, 10 minutes on air on FM,
Yeah.
Get on there talking for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden I realized my phone is not there. There is, I don't know how long my phone stopped connecting. I mean, what are you going to do? I called back in. I'm like, sorry.
It's just a new medium, and it's a matter of getting comfortable with it. As you know, this is relatively new. I've been talking to people all my life and listening to them some of the times, because this is new. And it involves technology. Every time I do something on someone else's program, it's like a whole different game plan on it. Struggling with this anyway.
Right. Marion, do you find like there's one little thing that people could make technology easier for them? Is there like something that most people, if they just did something, most of it would work?
No.
That's what I thought.
No, but
I was hoping.
But I'm teaching everybody that I come in contact with that has a business. Please have a done-for-you service. Even if you don't do the work and you hire somebody to manage it or deal with it, please have done-for-you services that just take care of everything, because that's what people are looking for today. They don't want to work. They don't want to deal with the technology. They don't. So make it easy for them. Tell them you have a done-for-you service. All you have to do is show up, and I'm going to take care of everything for you, especially the technology. So
I know I'm buying into your TV show Blab thing that you're doing. I'm totally there.
That's true. All you have to do is show up to the mic, and everything is taken care of you. The artwork, the technology, right? And so I'm seeing that every business could have this, and that's what people are buying right now, because they're busy. They don't have time. They're stressed out. They don't want to learn something new.
I missed a little bit of your early conversation while I was trying to figure out how to get this started. What did you call that service now? You had a name for it. What'd you call it? A done for you? Done for you service. Done for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Right now we have a complete done for you service where we have your television show and your podcast right on your website. And so you can just send people to your website address, and they can either see the live show or they can see and hear the replays. And people are just jumping all over it. Tanya, the last time you had me on your show, within seconds, I got a call from a lady from New York. I said, I got to have that. And we're
Nice.
hooking her up. She's as we speak, her show is being produced right now.
I know. It was so, these are things that everybody needs to develop, right? Is creating systems that actually help you sell without having and build your business without you doing everything yourself, right?
Right.
And I was in.
You think I do it all myself? No way. I have somebody that does
crazy.
every little piece. All I do is what I do best.
Right.
I can tell you, you're going to hear from me on it because I've had it. This today was probably the coup de grace for me.
He's like, pop.
But I think
I'm so glad you're here.
I can hear him on the phone. He was like, ah!
Yes, exactly. I'm talking about, this. We teach self mastery, and that's ability to control yourself. Well, I was that close to not being able to even control myself.
I know you're going to hit yourself with that mirror and go, okay, Barney.
I live out here in the Central Valley, and it's amazing. That San Joaquin Valley in California, and it was a farming community. Now it's a great big farming community. And it's amazing how far behind we can be the rest of the world, I call it, we can be here. And I mean, there's 1 million people in San Joaquin County and 1 million, and give or take, in Stanislaus County. So it's a large area, but we do not have the technologies here. When you start looking for how to do something like you're talking about, it simply isn't easy to find it. I go looking for services, and I'm amazed that, they can do this part, but they can't do that part. And you start finding out that.
And I tell you what, Barney, the easiest way to, whenever anybody, this is a great tip for everybody. If you've got something you're having a problem with, you can't kind of move past, it's slow, you're like dredging through, ask me. I'm connected to so many people. There's somebody I know that I can connect you to, right?
You're in a beautiful spot where you get information, people coming to you from all kinds of directions. That's wonderful.
Yes. And, it's great when you connect with people that not only have a great expertise and they really know their stuff, right? So if I send somebody to you, Marianne or Barney, I know you're going to take care of them and you're going to get right down to their issues.
Yeah.
But you also have good heart. And I think that makes the difference because there's a lot of experts out there, but I like connecting with people that really want to help and they really want to see that success for people. And I know for me, it hurts my heart when I see somebody not be successful as a speaker. I see them all the time. There was a lady that, it was like one of those moments that I was just like wanted to shake her. She had gone through the year with the Public Speakers Association, and it was her time to renew. And she had done a lot of the virtual summits, and I could see her progression. I could see that she was getting into her own, and she had a great message. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this speaker thing is just not going to work for me. I'm just not making the money. I'm not doing this. I was like, you got to give it more time. It's a building process. No, she just backed out. A week later, 1 week, I get a phone call. And it was a Fortune 100 company. And they were like, excuse me, but I can't find this particular lady's information on your website. Wow. And I'm like, oh, well, who is it? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's no longer a member, but I have her contact information still. And they're like, you've got to be joking. It took me 6 months to get this approved through my budget committee. And now and I'm like, well, I can still connect you. And they're like, no, we don't want quitters.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That close to
And I was like, well, how can I help you? Like, gosh, it took me forever to get this $100,000 approved.
Oh my, oh Jesus. Oh no.
I was like, excuse me? Is there something I can do?
I changed my name. I'm her, I swear.
Yeah, I can help you. What is it? It was totally something I couldn't help them with at all. I was like, well, I know people, and I gave them several names of connections. I said, well, don't let that budget go. And hopefully they connected somebody, and but I was like, oh, she had known. And I always thought, should I tell her? I was like, I just couldn't do it. I keep struggling with that moment, you know, when you tell people, should I tell them that you just missed out, or?
Well, you see it happen a lot of times in life. We give up just before that final success, and you know that's a tough decision in life, and it's a tough decision in business to know when is it time to hang on, when is it time to let go. And I'll be candid with you. In the last year and a half, the methodology that I used all my life, which was calling the person who owned the business or ran the business, and I probably know the vast majority of them here in the Valley, doesn't work anymore. And I had to say, I'm going to keep pounding my head against this wall. You know, they said, Barney, we'd love to listen to you. We don't have time, et cetera, et cetera. And I had to turn around and turn my whole marketing approach upside down. That involved, of course, what we're doing now, but it also involved buying a relatively expensive inbound marketing program from HubSpot, which is what a phenomenal, it's a tool that touches everything. And it really develops it in a whole different way. And I can already see the value of what's happening with it. And I don't really have, I'm just now, my first campaign goes out next week. And I start talking to the community about that, and they're going, I never heard of that. With the exception of the few very large companies like Gallo Winery and Foster Farms and a few of them, the vast majority of them in our community don't even know what I'm talking about. We're 80 miles from San Francisco, then they all know what it amounts to because they've already doing it. So you have to say that as ugly as it is and as disappointing as it, to me, I think there's a lot of flaws in what they do, but that's what's working, and that's what I have to be smart enough to say. You know, if what you're doing isn't working, you got to decide there's another way to do it. And say, I'm willing to take a shot. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, and those are the kind of business decisions that I think only time and experience really tell you. And there's a certain amount of those things. I knew it all when I was 20, and then found out how much I didn't know when I was about 35 or 40. Now I've really gotten stupid over the years. I'm so stupid I'm learning how to do things that work for a change.
Well, but you know, we all have that moment of, you know, a lot of times what I find, and I probably, Marion would totally back this up for technology especially, is as soon as everybody is doing it, you need to stop doing it and do something different, especially in the marketing realm, right? You always got to be kind of fresh and new and doing what the other people aren't doing. So I always find those successful people in my realm, and I watch what they do because they're spending a lot of marketing money, you know, a lot of money with the other people, and they're testing the market. And if they go and try something and I can see that it's working, I'm going to go do that.
Well, interestingly, I got from somewhere, I found out about this just about the time, just before you sent something out on it, and I saw what you were doing with it, but I'd gotten some kind of a contact through LinkedIn or something on it. I don't want to look at one more thing. And then the next thing I know, within a few days' time, Tony calls me and said, hey, here's what Tanya's doing. All right, interesting. Well, if she's looking at it, I figured it was worth looking at myself. So.
Totally.
Well, it's funny, Barney, because one of my business partners is on some magical list somewhere of software developers and businesses who have new and great products. And they always come out with beta, and before beta, they have these testing people, and he's on that list. So he knows about things before they even go into beta and test it on him. And then he calls me and I test it with him. So we're kind of in that like, you know, brand new stuff. So when the Periscope came out and Blab and all the things that are going on with the live streaming, we jumped in full on. I mean, like, and the only people that are really here right now are the geeks and people that we're inviting in, like Tanya's group is starting to come in, and so I'm starting to see it. We still don't have the masses here, but they're coming.
Right.
Yeah,
they're coming.
And then we'll already have a database, and people can go back, and we don't have one. We've got 20, 50, 100.
Right.
And so it'll show a lot of progression.
That's right.
And so I always like jumping in early to things, you know, especially something like this. I mean, my second Blab that I did, I got closed business.
Right.
Lady saw us.
There you go.
She saw me. She liked what I was saying. She's like,
there you go.
how do I sign up? I'm like,
yep.
You're wanting to sign up? Here's my new website.
That's it.
Well, it requires us to do one of the toughest things in life, and that's to change. We like to say, okay, this is the way it is, and it's one of the elements of my leadership course that I talk about. There's at least 6 core competencies you have to have if you're going to be successful as a leader, and one of them is the ability, basically an attitude of change and the ability to implement that change without having it destroy everything you've created in it. So it's going to be different. No matter what we're doing today, something's going to be different tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I really appreciate both of y'all being on. So I know usually y'all have some great offer or something to give our audience. What would you like to do today?
Well, I have a leadership self-assessment test. I have a big focus on leadership. I do organizational planning and development and marketing and sales, but my focus is really, my passion is about leadership development. And so I have a self-test that I allow leaders to take. It's very simple. It takes them probably 10, 15 minutes. And, I tell them what their grades are. And that's all I have to do is send an email to me at my email address, or my website's got the address on it, and everybody's got that. It's Barney at smra1.com, and I'll give them that free leadership assessment. And then I follow it up with an ebook that goes even deeper into some of the pieces of the leadership program. So very, very insightful. And I can tell you it's a 1 to 10 scale. With a 10, you can write a book and sell it to somebody besides your spouse or your best friend or your mom. And I've never seen anybody go through that and get 10s. I've seen organizations where they had 6 or 7 leaders at a time come in and get an average of a 3 or a 4 on it. And then they wonder why you struggle with your business. So
right.
Tough things to do, but the things that are imperatives if you're going to be successful as a leader.
Perfect. So make sure you type it over into the little chat window so people can see that. And just go ahead and say it again so that people can hear it for the recording.
Okay, it's BARNEY at smra1, and that's the number 1.com. Barney at smra1.com. Or my website is www. I'm looking at this and typing. I don't do that. I have to focus
Two things at once.
Brain looking messy.
Perfect.
I'd love to hear from you. If you don't want to do anything else other than share it, send me an email and say, hey, I heard your show. I think you're all wrong, or you're not. I don't care. The dialogue.
Awesome. Marion, how about you?
Well, I have a special radio is great, but internet television is the bomb. And we have a special right now, right? Thank you. If Tanya's doing it, everybody should be doing it, right? At least,
and it's fabulous.
Yes, it's fabulousness all over.
And you don't have to have this much hair either.
Yeah, I don't mind. I get less all the time.
For this show and until February 2016, I'm willing to waive all the setup charges. That includes your artwork and all the technology to get your own show up and running on your website. I'm willing to just get rid of all of that setup fee, completely gone. That's $850 worth of products and services that we're willing to just waive so that you can get your show up and running. And we do podcasting as well as a television show, an internet television show right on your website. So
perfect. Yeah, jump in on that one. And no, Barney, you can't be first because I'm first.
A second's fine.
Fine. And everybody, I would love for you to join my contest. I run a contest every month, and I'd love for you to be a part of that. It's simply at Tanya Hoffman, and remember, it's Tanya with an O, and Hoffman, my husband's family doesn't know how to spell it right, so it's 1 F, 2 N's, so HOF like Frank, MANN, so nancynancy.com/win, WIN /. And I don't know why it has to have a / on the end. Anyways, you have to. So go there. You can fill out my contest and win a $1,000 1-hour coaching session with me. And we'll go over anything you want to go over to help you, especially in business, if you want to do, speaking, obviously, if you need sales process, whatever it is that I can help you with, I am totally there for you. you. And we choose the winner on the first of every month. So if you're listening to the recording, no worries. Go apply. It's still there. And you can also get to it from my homepage. So just go to TanyaHoffman.com. Also visit us at Public Speakers with an S, Association.com, and you'll be able to find Marion and Barney and obviously myself. If you go to speaker search, just type in their name and their ad will pop up. You can just put in Marion or Barney or Tanya, and you'll find our website, social media, our pictures, all of our information. It makes it super easy to find all that details. All righty. Well, thank you. Thank you, Marion, and thank you, Barney, for being on today.
You, Tanya. What a great experience. Thank you
I
very
have
much.
one more thing to say, if you don't mind.
Oh, good.
My life has changed, and for the better, because I know Tanya Hoffman. When she offered me to be in Public Speakers Association and took me by the hand and showed me what I can do with my business, with my life, it changed everything. There's a whole new story I'm telling. So thank you very much, Tanya Hoffman.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, I love success stories, I know. And it really warms my heart because that's why I do it. You know, and if I could help one person, if I could help Marion go out and change lives for the better, it just makes this world such a better place. Yep. And I absolutely love it. I love being, you know, I'm pretty patient now, so yeah, I don't mind, you know, when Barney has issues. We all have issues. We just move right along. So thank you, Marion, for that. I really appreciate it. It's nice to hear. All right, everybody. We will see you on the next show. We're here every Monday through Friday, unless I'm speaking someplace. And we will see you next time. And I want Marion and Barney, I want you back on soon. Sound good?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.